Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Horn Dawgs podcast.
You don't have to do anything.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't sure.
This is a Dogs podcast crossover, though.
Mine had a question mark to it. So
Yeah.
there was still there was barks, but there was question marks.
Yeah. I'm Jonathan Serta-Rowell.
I'm Steve Big Hearn, Get Him Again Hernandez. And with us, we have a special guest. He's one of the hottest new comics in LA. Not that new, but, you know, he's blowing up right now, especially on the internet. And beloved. People love you. Of course, we're talking about Mr. Saul Trujillo.
Oh, man, I love this.
It's because we don't have a theme song, so we needed some type of audio. And we're too lazy to do anything outside of this.
That's Jamar Neighbors' walk up. Is just it's Rottweilers barking.
Oh, really?
So like when Jamar Neighbors is it's just Rottweilers barking when he comes up. Is it
a good impression of Rottweilers?
No, it's just two Rottweilers barking as audio, and he walks up with the fake mohawk on. It's great.
Yeah.
You've seen him on Comedy Central. He's got his own podcast called The Dogs of Browntown with Homos Rashidi and Joel Jimenez. So it is a dogs crossover.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You have pets.
Yeah.
You don't think they're gross?
No.
I have a very controversial. You can't really talk shit about pets at all on stage. People get so mad.
Yeah, weird, huh?
Yeah. They can't.
But here's the thing. I'm jokes or whatever. You can joke about whatever you want, especially dogs. Dogs, it's a pet.
Yes, but people don't think of them as pets.
No, they've evolved.
We think of them. We've talked about this, I think, on our first episode. Is that we think? I mean, if I'm gonna have a dog, it's in the backyard. I'm Mexican. You know what I mean?
You're Mexican in that aspect. You haven't. You're still like behind the times on that.
Well, no. You keep them outside. That's where animals belong. That's where
you the same way.
Yeah, that's how I grew up. Is animals outside. Now, when my dog Pepe got really old, we had him inside because he was frail. But before, when he was in his health, outside.
I think maybe just because I've been traumatized of like the stuff that I remember, the way my dad raised dogs, and now like, I can't do that.
Yeah, no, because Mexicans they have a different culture to dogs.
Yeah, our pit bull was pregnant like all the time. Bro, it's not even all the time. Like we would go on vacation and like my dad was okay. We would go on vacation. This is sad right here. We would go on vacation. He'd be like, she's pregnant. She'd take her. We'd come back. Like the puppy's dead, man.
Oh my God.
I know. And like, so that's why I'm like, no, I love puppies forever. No, I love you. You sleep with me.
Holy shit. It would just be dead.
Yeah, bro. Like a half-eaten dog.
Oh my God.
Do you, cause I come from a pit bull family too. And I've seen pit bulls. I saw a puppy pit bull rip open my neighbor Emmanuel's ball sack when he was a little kid. So I've been very scared of pit bulls ever since.
Yeah.
What's your experience with pit bulls?
No. They've always worked for me.
They worked for you? Okay. Haven't ripped open any of your friends' ball sacks?
No. To a point where I think I've talked about this on my podcast before, to where our pit bull would escape and then bite like an unhoused homeless person.
Yeah.
And then they'd come, they'd knock on the door, and then my dad had a way of manipulating them with their addiction. So like he had $5 loose and like tall cans in the fridge, and we just go, here you go, I'm sorry. And this guy would go, everything's fine. And he would leave with a terrible wound.
Yeah, just a chunk missing from his hand. A chunk
missing and money, and this is fine. I'm not going to hospital.
Holy shit.
Now, so I noticed you changed. You said initially you said unhoused, and you changed it to homeless. What was going on in your head?
I went Hollywood for a multi-second.
Yeah. It is crazy that your gut was Hollywood.
Yeah.
You initially said unhoused.
I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing? No,
I don't care personally.
Yeah,
I don't think they care.
No, I have a joke about it that explained the thing, but I was like, no, I'm just going to be nice. But I was like, nah, we're on the Horn Dawgs podcast.
Yeah, I did say unhoused once in one of my last podcasts, and the internet like tore me apart.
And that's they should, because it's kind of dumb. I mean, they're still without house.
I know.
Without home.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, no, I know for a second. I'm sorry, for a second.
Now, did you record an hour at the Comedy Store?
I recorded a pitch.
Okay, good.
A pitch? What do you mean?
To send out to people that were interested in the hour.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
yeah. I could actually put the hour out on YouTube. It's beautiful. Like the guy who filmed it did a really good job. But like I think the Comedy Store won't let me because I didn't go through them. Because they have a whole setup. If you want to film like a special at the store, they have the whole process. You got to go through them.
They knew you were gonna film,
but they knew it has to be for in-house.
Yeah.
Because I could probably release clips out of it, but nothing like like a whole official hour. Like if I wanted to sell it to like 800-pound gorilla, like they were like, no, where's our piece? Probably.
Yes.
Yeah, which understandable. Yeah.
I just did an hour at the Chatterbox. The first time I've done my hour. The last time I'll do it there too. Although it was awesome. It went awesome.
It was apparently, I missed it, but from what everyone said, it was legendary.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
people-
electric.
Yeah,
it was
it was
awesome.
packed
But
out.
I mean, the Chatterbox is like my home in a way that I don't like because I've generally have too many people there that I know. It's like performing at a family party. It's like, you know, whatever. It's not that it doesn't go well. I just don't like the way I feel when I do it. But I taped it. I wanted to film it in Kansas City. I was going to do it independently, but it's gonna cost me $8 to $15,000 to do it right.
Yeah, what's right?
Yeah, I mean, just to make it look good.
Hire some interns, baby. Some people on the way up. You know.
But I was like, I'm just gonna wait. I gotta sell this to someone. I want $15,000. I don't want to pay $15,000 for it.
Yeah.
But they're not buying specials anymore, right? Like even big comics who have like big followings are having trouble selling their specials to like these streamers.
Yeah, the
you know?
fact of the matter is that I've like, worst comes worst, like that I've already come to the like this probably could come out on YouTube.
Yeah.
No one's gonna pick it up, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but as
Yeah.
long as you collect like a good amount of views, and gets people out to see you on the
That's
road.
all that matters at the end of the
Yeah.
day is putting butts in seats.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You're with a white woman?
Yeah.
So is this how you guys connected? And just you guys just swap
Our
war
love
stories?
for white women.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, did you? I can't. Did you have a lot of girlfriends before?
No.
Okay, so is this your own? Have you loved another woman before your wife?
No.
This is the only woman you've
There's
ever
been
loved.
lust. There's
Yeah.
been a lot of lust and like sad secret lust. Like girls that fuck you and don't admit it. Like that part. Yeah, that
what
part's
city?
sad.
When did that happen? What city were you living in?
Oh, it's Stockton.
Yeah, Stockton.
Yeah.
So you're from Stockton,
Yeah,
right?
I'm from Stockton originally.
And what kind of jobs did you work there?
Oh man, I worked at this arcade called John's Incredible Pizza.
Okay.
It was a pizza buffet / just giant arcade indoor. I ran bumper cars and I ran it terribly because you're supposed to check the seat belts. Zero seat belts.
So are people just like flying?
Kids
out
would
of the
fly
car?
out of the fucking bumper car.
That's good for them. It builds character. Yeah.
It's just because I was lazy.
Yeah.
You know, just fat and sad.
I mean, you have so many like good things going for you now. I like to go back to these places because I mean, you must have thought that you were never gonna get out.
No.
Like, this was gonna be your life.
no,
right?
I was gonna die in Stockton.
Yeah. Working at the pizza place, and then you get free
No,
pizza,
man.
right?
I never thought I was gonna, because I was a fiend, man. I was a gambling addict from the age of 18 to 33, and I'm talking like gambling addict, not like they talk about it like fantasy football. I'm talking about I would cancel shows because I was down 1,300 at a casino.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Holy
gambling.
When did
addict,
that
bro.
start?
18, real young. Because like my grandmother was a gambling addict too, but like she had the finances to do that. I don't have the finance. I'm 18, so like every check from the ages of 18 to 33, like I would get better at comedy to gamble because there were comedy competitions that you could do in like Lodi and Stockton. There were bar competitions. If you won, you got $100, $200. So I would win 2-3 weeks in a row with all my fat deprecating stuff. Like you guys like this? Oh, I'm fat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And do that, get the $100, lose it all on blackjack.
Oh my God! I don't think I've ever heard of anyone getting better at comedy for that.
Yeah, for an addiction.
Do you think it lit the fire under your ass to like move
In
ahead
a
in
weird
comedy?
way, yeah.
This is what we needed. This is why I'm nowhere because I didn't have fire under my ass like this guy.
An addiction.
Yeah. That's sometimes what you need.
You got to steal from your brother.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have said this before, but I've truly like got into comedy. To score women, to get women.
Yeah.
But then Me Too happened, and that we can't say that anymore.
No, I think you can. I think most guys straight guys would admit like that's a big part of
Just
it. They
said
want to get laid.
consensually.
Oh, yeah.
To the end of that.
Yeah,
I
you
came
want.
into it to get
By the way,
women
I've never
consensually.
spoken
Yeah.
against Me Too, but here's the thing: I guess I'm thinking of young women too. Not that matters to me at all anymore. But when I got into it, I always thought of like Frank Sinatra being like 50, dating like Mia Farrow, like who's like 22.
What's the age difference between you and your pregnant wife?
10 years.
Okay, yeah. So you did get a younger woman.
I mean, she's hot. I wouldn't.
Don't say it like that. Don't go.
No,
She's hot.
She's hot, and I would not be able to have gotten her outside of comedy. If she wasn't a comedian, I couldn't get someone that hot. But because she is broken up here, I have more value.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what's fucked up is
Yeah.
that the how like the self-worth in me like agrees with him.
It's true.
Yeah.
I
Agrees
remember
with
when
him.
Julie and I liked her. There was like a period. There was like 3, 4, 5 months where I liked her. I couldn't tell if she liked me back, but I remember I was like, I don't know, she's so hot though. And not that I didn't think that I couldn't get a hot girl. I just don't think that hot girls would traditionally find me attractive.
I do remember you saying something along the lines of she's too beautiful, as in like, is she going to be interested in you?
Yeah.
'Cause she's too beautiful.
I mean, I truly believe, I hope that nobody thinks it's crazy to think this, but I think you could typically only get someone who's like 1 or 2 from what you are.
Yeah.
I don't like to talk about looks this way, especially about women, but I'm talking about myself. So
Sometimes that's the first thing that you see, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, and that's not sometimes, all the time.
But I'm
that's the
just
first
saying,
time that
people
you
are
see that.
traditionally. I know people don't like to hear this kind of shit, but a person ends up with someone about the same attraction level as you, 1 or 2. That's both, unless you're very rich or very powerful. Then you could usually, get someone more attractive. I know it sounds crazy that I believe this stuff, but I still believe it. I'm not crazy, right?
Well, the only thing I disagree on is sometimes the couples look mismatched. But here's the thing: there's a difference between being good looking and then being sexy. And sometimes someone who's not traditionally good looking is still so fucking sexy, and you're just like, I gotta be with this person because I want to fuck them all the time.
Well, let me tell you this: I think I'm good looking. And I think I'm sexy, but
Yeah.
I think fat that knocks me down some for a lot of people.
Yeah, but you're like manly fat. You're like a guard in Aladdin.
I know. And I'm not like, I don't even hold any of this stuff against anyone. I just think it's all kind of mapped out already. I think without few exceptions, I think that generally, if you're a hot, regular sized. I'm sorry that I'm saying all that.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're going.
You're going right up my ass.
I know you don't.
I know exactly
and
what
I
you
hope
mean.
anybody with a brain could hear what I'm saying through
As
this.
a fatter fat, I agree.
Yeah. So I think that a regular sized hot woman, I think most people, and I don't agree with this, but when they think of fat, they think it's a bad thing. And so a regular sized hot woman would say, "Oh, that's not something I have to allow." You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
It's
Okay.
it's like being poor. Being fat is like being poor. A lot of people think that in their head naturally anyways. They think it is such a thing, so that if you're an attractive person, you think, "Oh, that's not something I have to," because I'm very attractive, so I don't have to put up with a fat guy. That's what I think that
Damn.
most. Yeah, I'm not crazy for saying
No,
this.
you're not.
No,
No,
you're
you're
not
not.
crazy for
I
saying
feel
it.
bad just because it's like if you were gay, like in the gay world,
Yeah.
there's a whole place for you.
Yes.
You'd have skinny guys who'd want to put their faces in between your big ass. Like,
Yeah.
they would just be worshiping you and fetishizing you. I guess you don't have that in the straight world.
No,
right?
but that's right. I'm telling you that I don't know if I say this on stage a lot, but I do have a joke about straight guys. You got to start hanging out with gay guys because they'll make you feel sexy. Because a straight woman has never made me feel sexy in my goddamn life. I got through hanging out through fucking guys and through being in the gay world. I got online, all of that. They're hitting me up. They're DMing me. You're so hot. I want to suck your dick. Gay guys made me feel sexy. So that's how I know I'm sexy. But at the time when I'm talking about Julia, when I was like, oh, I think she might be, I wasn't sad about it. I wasn't, she might be too hot for me. But I was just like, I just don't think it's going to work out.
Yeah.
I don't think she would find
That's
me
what
attractive.
fucks up a lot of fat guys, though.
What's what?
Like they assume like an attractive girl likes them, and they assume there's no way. So then they fuck up that that little window of time.
Well, actually, and let me say this too. I know I could get a hotter girl if I have a long period of time. If I have 6 months.
Yeah.
3 months. Because then she'll get to know me. I'm very confident in myself as a person and as a personality and all that stuff. But we hadn't spent much time together. So the fact that she would like off the bat, to me, that was like, oh no, that's not true either. So what?
How'd you meet your wife? I'm curious. How'd you meet your
Oh,
wife?
is that I needed money for gambling, so I accepted emceeing a wedding for $250. One of my friends. So then
I'd take it now without an addiction.
yeah.
That sounds like good money.
Yeah.
But no, that was one of those yes please.
Yeah.
I did the gig, and she was just like drunk. She had like Melissa McCarthy energy.
Oh, I love
Like,
that.
She's all fucked up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I added her on Facebook, and then from there I just started talking to her.
Was she making you laugh too?
Yeah.
That's
My wife's hilarious,
that's
but she's
hot.
so self-conscious. She's like, yeah, but I'm not like funny like you guys. Like she does the comedy thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't have to be funny. Like I just think you're funny.
Yes.
And I legitimately argue like she's pretty funny sometimes.
Well, I think the funniest people in the world are not stand-up comedians. We're
Yes.
we're losers. We're
Yes.
just nerds about the thing.
Yeah.
We like to move a sentence around, cut off words, make these things. But funny people, give me a nurse, give me a stay-at-home mom. You know, those are fucking funny people who don't need to do it on stage for claps and adoration and
you
shit.
show me a mediocre stand-up comedian, I'll show you him off stage being one of the funniest guys ever.
Well, those guys end up being good usually.
Nah,
Hopefully.
I know a couple guys back home.
Yeah.
On stage, they're B, maybe.
Yeah.
Off stage, murdering the green room.
Why do you think they don't get better?
I don't know. I just don't know. They don't know how to transfer themselves, the off stage persona on stage. And I don't know why.
Well, because to me, that's the whole thing is that after the first year or two, you're used to being on stage and stuff. Your whole goal is to be the most like you are off stage. If you're a funny person.
Yeah.
So these guys, but it just doesn't, you think it just stops?
Yeah, I guess like the funniest people on stage are, I mean, I'm pretty quiet off stage generally. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to run the room.
Yeah.
I have no need.
When someone's in the green room and just like sucking the energy out of all the other comics because they're just won't shut up. They
That's
need to be
for
the
you.
star of the room. Oh my God, there's nothing worse than that.
And I do think though that I have gotten quieter since I started doing stand up. I've gotten quieter. I do think there's an energy thing going on where I've learned to conserve it. Where I'm like, I don't want to use this up. I'm going to save it for the stage. I think that happens subconsciously. So even at parties, at family parties and that kind of stuff, I'm much more quiet because, and maybe because we get such a big rush on stage, we know that like, oh, we don't need it in these little spurts.
I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
exactly why I was a gambling addict.
Yeah.
Exactly why I like drugs. Exactly why I like stand-up.
How did you stop gambling?
Do
Do you go to meetings?
Acid? It's
Oh.
kinda weird.
You started doing acid?
I did acid for the first time. Like for the first time, it was like a beautiful setting. Like it was like the sun was going down. I was in an orchard, and then I was just
How
doing.
old were you?
32.
So that long.
Yeah.
And there would be times when you're gambling, up when you're 31 and you're 30, and you're like, I can't. You must have were you like? It was like an addiction where you're like, I gotta stop doing this.
No, bro. It doesn't even go like being angry at yourself. It goes from like bawling your eyes out to numbness. It's waves of that.
Oh, so you were sad about this?
Yeah.
you
sad
hated it.
or numb.
Yeah.
And then, but because it's just so long of not having any money.
Yes.
And I have this bit about not being like not caring about shoes, like that. It's spawned out of that. It's not. I would only spend like $9-10 on shoes because all of my money went to gambling.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So I mean,
So you like just swinging by Payless and picking up those
Walmart.
cardboard Walmart? Yeah.
You just pick up some basic.
Cardboard shoes are gonna disintegrate soon.
Nah, they last a while.
They-
They're just
Walmart
plastic
lasts us?
shoes. Yeah.
Okay.
so you were poor just because of the gambling addiction.
A lot of the times, yeah.
Oh my
Mentally, like emotionally, all that. You have to live a whole lie of like, yeah, is he gambling? You have to lie about gambling. It's a whole web of lies. It sucked.
Oof, man, that sounds awful.
But then one day, I think I was like my wife was. I mean, she was my girlfriend at the time. My wife now. We were just doing acid. I'm gonna do acid. See what happens. All in one like 12-hour high. I was like, I'm gonna move to LA. I'm gonna quit gambling. And I'm gonna ask my girl to marry me. All three happened, and all three happened
Through that trip.
through that trip.
Dude, man, good for you, bro.
Yeah.
And you lost a bunch of weight too, right?
I lost a bunch of weight, but man, I'm touring, man. Eating late at night, you're like, oh, this is where other addictions start to transfer over.
Oh yeah, food,
Yeah,
food will always be like my big one. That at some point, I'm having my daughter soon. At some point, I'm gonna have to deal with it. And then there's, you're holding these two things at the same thing. You want to accept yourself and say, God, life is short. I don't want to fucking be sad about this or worry about this all the time. But there's another part of you that says, I know this is awful for me, so I've got to fix it, right?
You just the same sentence goes. The life is short part just ends up changing tones. So like, life is short. Like life is short. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
We just talked about this in the last episode. I'm like, I can't be so fat that if I die, that they're like just having trouble like carrying my body out.
I don't think you're that fat yet.
I know you don't think I'm that fat, but yeah, I mean, I weigh 290, almost 300 pounds.
We're about the same.
Yeah. How tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
Yeah. I'm 5'9".
You gotta just be in shape enough to like be a pallbearer at my funeral, okay?
Your gay AIDS funeral.
Exactly, yeah. Because
Your
my
Gates funeral?
my Gates
Gay
funeral,
AIDS?
yeah. I was at a family funeral, and one of my aunt's boyfriends was too fat to carry the coffin because he got caught between the coffin and the hallway.
You saw this?
Yeah, I was one of the pallbearers, and one of the guys who worked at the funeral place, he just had to step in and goes, "Sir, please step aside." And then he had to just like squeeze out, and then the like worker had to go in and like take up the weight. And I was like, "Yeah, so you just need to be able to carry me and put me in the ground. That's what you need."
This is how thin my thing is I gotta ride the Harry Potter at Universal Studios.
You haven't done it yet?
I have, but just barely.
Me too.
The one, really, you did?
Barely.
Let me hear your story.
No, it was just barely, and then it went.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
is it
I
a
didn't
strap in
think-
like this?
Yeah, it's one of those like ninja ones that hang.
Oh, hell
and
no.
so they don't really. They should make a
fuck.
bigger deal about this because I'm fat, but I'm not that fat.
No, you're
and,
not that
And so
fat.
if we're
No.
talking about like America and these people,
Yeah.
they should make a real bigger deal. When I got on, me and Julia got on, and I was like, oh, this isn't closing. And then some like little girl like runs out of like a room. There's like a door, and she like ran out. She's like, "You two, come with me." And so she brought me and Julia inside this little room, and she was like, she looks at Julia and she's like, "I'm gonna need 2 clicks from him, okay? 1, 2, click, click." And she's like, "You gotta help me." She's like, "We do it."
What's
So-
going on? What the
They
fuck?
don't do that anymore.
What do you mean?
A lot of people can't get up. They don't do the assisted clips because when I was there, the dude just like kicked the 2 clicks
Yeah,
and
yeah.
helped me out. They're not allowed to do that.
Well,
anymore.
I think that's why she told Julia, "You've gotta help me.
Oh, yeah,
You've
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
help me." And so
So you have 2 women trying to like strap you
she
in?
just was giving
She
us
had
a
to do
speech
it.
in a little
Oh,
room.
shit.
She gave
Okay.
the speech in the little room, and then she like goes, "All right, let's go." And she like took us back to the front of the line, and then we went, and then like, real quick, I got one.
Yeah.
And then Julie was like, "Come on, come on!" And I think she like jumped her legs up. She like threw her weight on it, and then we got a second click, click. And then
because
she-
you're gonna get like you could get really like if you're like I can't breathe like
Yeah.
some fat fuck's gonna die on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're in there squeezed on.
Damn, this is why I don't
Worth
do roller
it.
coasters.
Worth it though.
Yeah,
I
it's
had
a great
much
ride.
fun.
Yeah.
I love it. I want my heart to stop on a roller coaster. That's how I want to die.
I just posted your clip about Taco Bell. What's your order? What's a regular order for you from Taco Bell? Not crazy, not light. I just want like a nice
let's go
standard
down,
regular
'cause,
order.
Yeah.
They have this deluxe cravings meal that comes with like chips, cheesy gordita crunch, burrito, and I think that's the meal. And then it comes with like a fries or some shit. It's like $11.
But
some
you'll
shit.
get another thing on top of the box.
Yeah.
What's the other thing? That's what I want to know. Come on, come on. Who are you talking to? I've never just gotten the meal.
Cheesy bean and cheese burrito with green sauce.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, I didn't even know they had green sauce.
I worked at Taco Bell.
Oh, hell yeah.
What did you get?
I get a Mexican pizza, and I get 2 bean and cheese burritos with no onions in it, like those raw onions that they chop up, with a red sauce. And then I also get a 12-pack of those like new Cinnabon things with the frosting.
You eat the whole
in it.
12?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! Because then if you don't get the 12, you can only get the 2. So they do this thing where they go, "Do you want the 2-pack or do you want the 12-pack?" And it's like the 12-pack, of course. And they're filled with frosting. And sometimes if I'm really high, I'll get 2, so I'll have 24 of them, and then I'll save the other one for the next day.
I wish I had that. I have the mental fat shame. I was like, you just need 2.
Yeah.
You don't need the dozen.
Well, you're correct. He's a young man, though.
I know.
You've never. I always think it's so funny, Jonathan, because I know you've bulked up at times. I always think of you as a fat guy, but you're absolutely not at all. Maybe because you like to fuck fat
You
guys.
think of me
too.
as a fat guy?
I just know you have the mentality of it. So when
right.
you said
Like I
that
can
order
eat- I
right
can-
now,
I can
Yeah,
eat
that
a-
order was wild.
Yeah, that's
that
a
order was
wild-
Oh,
crazy.
it's because of my eating disorders. I've yo-yoed back, and I've gone really skinny, and I've gone like pretty fat for me.
How
what's
fat?
what's the lightest?
Lightest is 150. Heaviest was 240. I'm 6 feet. That's not that fat, but
That's pretty light.
That's
That's
my
really light.
That's my yo-yo.
At 240, I'm like an Adonis.
Yeah, I would kill for 240.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Yeah.
What's to you if you're like this is a weight that I think is attainable for me, and I feel like I would be very happy. What's that weight for you?
230. But I think I can do it. I want to do it in like before I'm 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the next couple years.
And how do you?
It's gonna be a lot of skin, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
No, because I used to be 430.
Yeah.
So there's already not only I have a big belly, but it's already misshaped because the skin's already loose.
But you're doing so well. You're gonna
Yeah,
be able. You're gonna be able to cut it off.
To do the plastic
You're gonna
surgery.
be cut it off.
Yeah. That's the one thing where I'm like, I look at some fat dudes that are like, I feel like you got enough of a shape to where it looks not bad.
Yeah.
To where mine is just like it's because of all the extra skin on it.
Yes, I know. That's a whole separate thing.
Yeah, that's a whole separate thing. But
I mean,
yeah.
I always look at. It's so funny. I'm doing a Sopranos rewatch, and I'm always looking at Tony, and everyone like calls him fat on the show.
He's not
and says
that fat.
Yeah, I'm watching him all the time. I'm
He's like high blood pressure fat.
Yeah.
He's like not that bad.
But I'm like looking. I'm like, man, if I looked like him, I'd be proud. I'd be so proud. I'd be walking around all the time. I love how much he eats on that. I love how he's always just munching on like sandwich meat and shit like that.
I want to be mobster fat.
Yeah.
You know, he's a fetish. James Gandolfini in the gay world, he's a fetish. There's whole blogs dedicated to him.
Is he really?
Yes, absolutely. People think he's very hot. And it's a lot of stuff of him putting food in his mouth with no shirt on or in a tank top.
Yeah.
Yeah, and guys just jack off to it.
Really?
Yes, yeah. I'm telling you.
Guys are fucking sick.
Fat guys.
great.
Gay guys are sick.
You know what?
Like I like to say, we appreciate the whole animal. So we like the inner meats and all the stuff that women leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we love, and there's a home for you. If you're super skinny or super fat, there's a home for you.
Yeah.
You guys are like Native Americans.
Yes. Yes.
We use the whole animal.
Well, I mean, you got to think how much you love women, and then think about how much. Be a gay.
Would use the whole
Yeah,
animal.
Yeah.
be a gay guy. Yeah, I mean, when I'm with a
right.
woman, I'm looking at a foot.
I can't say
I'm
that
looking-
though.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't say that about a woman. We use the whole animal.
Yes,
Well, yeah,
you
that's
I
the
can.
would
thing.
get meat to get the foot.
Yes,
out
you
of here.
can.
Well, that's the
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
That's the
I
good
mean, you
thing
just
about
can't
being
say it like
gay.
this. We use the whole animal. You can't say it like that. Yeah, you're not gonna have a wife much longer, but
so funny.
we use the whole animal.
It's so
But I do when you think of all the like. To me, when I'm thinking of a woman, I think like the smallest things are hot.
Whoa,
on women.
your spit came out. You were so
I
excited.
know. I started thinking about that Taco Bell meal. I love a cat. I love a clavicle. I remember that's how I knew. I always said I was bi. Now I barely say I'm queer just because I know I'm gonna fuck guys still in the future. But I don't know.
You say this and you have not fucked a guy in 5 years, so I'm just like, I don't know how queer you are.
I'm
you know?
gonna though.
You're gonna.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, like
dare.
how I'm gonna eat pussy soon.
No,
you know?
but have you fucked 40 women?
No.
Because I've fucked 40 guys.
You fucked them or they fucked you?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
All
what,
right.
that's why I keep trying.
All
I
right.
say this in my act too.
All
I'm
right,
like,
you can call me a
I'm a
faggot.
blue, but does it work both ways, or is there tops and bottoms? Like, is there like a?
Well,
I don't know. That's how green I am. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
called versatile. You've heard that though, right?
No,
Verse. That when you do
Not at all.
when you swing both way, like you fuck or get fucked, it's called verse.
I had
But
no
what
idea.
that
First
Yeah,
what
time
that
hearing it.
usually means, though, I've found though for guys, is that versatile usually means you want to get fucked in the ass, but you're too good at topping, so you end up topping a lot.
Yeah, it means that guys want you to top. It means you have a nice dick usually, or you're like afraid to identify as a bottom because a lot of gay guys, they're like, I want to be gay, but I don't want to be so gay where I get fucked in the ass. I want to be the one doing it because I'm less gay that way. And it's like, at that point,
you're gay.
we're gay.
Wait a minute.
We're gay, dude.
Yeah.
If you're gay, you're gay. That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, we'll be right back. And we're back with Horn Dawgs.
Although you could probably just get dogs barking, but you guys won't do it.
Remember how scary
No.
that dog was on the Neverending Story, the wolf?
Yeah, I thought you were talking about was it
No, not
Atreyu?
that fucking, no, not
Atreyu's
that.
the horse.
Not the dragon. Yeah.
The dragon's sick.
No, I'm talking about that wolf when that wolf's like in the cave and he's like, "Come in here."
That's so fucking scary.
That movie was so fucked up. You saw it when you were little, right?
Yeah, I saw that shit when I was little.
Neverending Story. You saw it,
Never
right?
saw it.
What?
How old-
I'm 31.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but it's still it's actually produced. A lot of people don't know this. It's a Canadian. They filmed it in Canada.
It's the one with Bowie, right?
No,
Oh.
you're thinking of Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
That's the one I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Neverending Story is produced by a German company. That's why it's so fucked up.
Oh, it makes so much sense.
Yeah. If you Jonathan, we have to watch Neverending
Wait,
Story.
is it those clips of like a pretty little girl being like, come back to me, blah blah blah. Like she's like crying a tear and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I do need to see that stuff.
Dude, his horse dies in like the first 15 minutes.
That's why it's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Wow.
His horse dies in the first 15 minutes. His mom, the kid he's reading a book. That's what it's about. He's reading this book about this place called It's the Never-Ending Story. And so this kid's like, mom is dead. And he reads this book. He gets it from some shop, and he's reading this book. And so he's thinking about his mom too. So the kid in the story, his horse dies in the first, drowns in mud, in quicksand. So he's like, no, please. He's like holding this horse as it's like drowning in mud. Then at the end, that woman, he finally gets to her and he's like, let's do it. You could save the universe now. And she's like, no, it's all gonna end. It's all gonna die right now. We're gonna wrap. We're a single like thing of sand. And then she's like, you could save her if you scream out your dead mom's name. It's like the whole thing's fucked up.
You know what I realized? You're one of those guys that on dates you explain movies to women.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Not
He
anymore.
was right, but he was like, no.
I was like, through that whole thing, I was like, is he explaining this movie to us?
No. I mean, to me, it's so fucked up. It's like it's a very interesting movie. But yeah, I don't do that. In my 20s, I was very much showing women movies like, oh, this is the most important thing. You got to watch this part.
Really?
Of course. You weren't that way?
And were you turning back and looking at them and making sure that they're watching the screen?
Yes.
Is that
If
what
I
you're doing?
really liked you, we were watching The British Office. Like,
Oh,
we're watching the whole
God.
thing. I'm like looking to see if you're laughing at the right parts. I know I made that Julia do that.
I was check raising Filipino people.
You were what?
I was check raising Asians at Asian casinos.
Check raising?
That's a gambling term.
What's it mean?
It's like raising like your money.
What's the most you ever won?
Nothing crazy, like maybe like 4K, something like that. But like in one night. But then like you lose almost everything.
course,
Yeah, but it's like it was like it'd go about that.
Did you ever go to a strip club with some of the money? No.
This guy wasn't into sex.
Really?
All he
No,
was
I
into was
wasn't
gambling.
sex, but it's like no.
I always think about gambling.
But it's fucked up because like all of your thing is towards that addiction. Like it's like almost like I wouldn't want to say crack, but it almost felt like I've smoked crack before, but I was like nothing compared to gambling for me.
So do you have to stay away from even like playing the lottery now?
No.
You still do the lottery or scratchers
I
or whatever?
I just don't gamble. I just choose not to do it.
Yeah.
Like I've gambled a home game here and there, but it's not when you don't have that feeling that you had. I was like, it just doesn't do it for me anymore.
What was the feeling that the universe gave you? What it told you something? What did it tell you?
I don't know, man. I just like first of all, I didn't look at money as money. I looked at all my money as points.
Okay.
So that's what kind of made it fucked up. It was just like trying to get as much points to fill whatever void I had to get good at this game.
God told you something on this acid trip, and you're not able to articulate it?
Oh, God just told me to stop doing it, like to focus on stand up. Is that what you said, God?
Yeah.
You spiritual?
Not really, but yes, I guess.
He used to, you used to be a megachurch pastor.
I was a youth pastor at a megachurch.
Were you really?
Yeah. I know the Bible.
He used to be a fucking cult leader.
Yeah. Stop it.
Yeah. That's what those are.
I didn't, I quit pretty early, like 23 years old, so.
Yeah,
Wait, how long were you doing it?
I grew up in this church. That became, as I grew up in this church, like I started going there when I was 7, it became a mega church.
Okay.
When I was 18, 19 years old, they started an internship program for the youth program, and I was an intern. After that year, I was the junior high pastor. Then after a year, I was the high school pastor. Then after that, I was over the whole student ministries thing, which is like 600, 700 people.
Whoa.
So, yeah. So I use the term God interchangeably because
I'm agnostic now, so.
yeah, I don't believe that there's. I could be wrong too. Obviously, we're humans. We're ants. We don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there is a God like that. But the thing that tells me how to live my life, I have no problem calling that God or the Holy Spirit because that's what I called it before. But I don't think that's a thing. It's really our conscience or our brain, like telling you this thing. But I have no problem. I think it's easier sometimes. I know some people are offended by the word God. But I think it's easier sometimes to just say, "Oh yeah, God told me to do this," and it makes. And when I talk to my mom, who's a prophet, we talk like this, and I have no problem. I think we're talking about the same thing. You're an agnostic. You didn't used to be though. What made you become agnostic?
I started asking questions in high school, mostly about like homophobia and like just the past and stuff like that. And then I didn't get the clear and concrete answers that I wanted.
Yeah.
That just like I kind of started to realize I was like, oh, I don't think I'm Catholic anymore. And I found that out early in high school too.
That's funny. Actually, the homophobia is the only part I agree still with. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I hear about Jonathan's
this
lifestyle,
is our
One particular person.
Yeah. Sometimes when you hear about the stuff Jonathan's doing, I'm like, God was right and he is real.
Well, here's the thing. It is unnatural. It's not. It's
No,
not.
of course it's not.
Yeah.
It is
You know,
natural.
No.
Here's the word. Here's the
when
we
you
say
are
the-
cleaning shit out of your ass, Steve,
Yeah.
then I want to hear you say, "Oh, it's natural."
Jonathan, this
All
might
right, maybe that's not natural, but
when
like,
you're monster mashing the shit through the drain pipe, come on.
he did the mash.
it's more along the lines like let him
He
let
did
him
the
do it.
monster mash.
Let him do the thing with the shit. It's fine.
Yeah. And
Accept that.
ancient gays used to use the stomach of goats to douche out their ass.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that if we're using the term natural, I do believe that there is always a percentage of humans that are gay.
Of course.
That's natural.
Yeah, I think honestly it's probably just evolution's population control. They're like, we can't have everyone have babies.
Yeah.
And they're like, some of you have to be gay for the morale and also for style and art and stuff like that.
You're gonna.
Yeah.
I think God was like, "You're gonna have shit on your dick," and then the
Yeah.
next one, "You're gonna have shit on your dick,"
Well,
and then you
it's-
just chosen.
And it's straight gay. It's just alternating. You either have shit on your dick or blood on your dick. Shit on
Yeah.
your dick or blood on your dick. And that's what it is. Unless you don't fuck women on their period.
Get the timestamp on that. That's the clip. I'm just-
Oh, yeah.
that's the TikTok. That one's
It
gonna
is
fly.
funny though, because you go back to like a lot of my friends who are Catholic still. They're like,
Yeah.
"Why aren't you?" I'm like, "Because of the reasons." They're like, "All right, you're all Hollywood now." I was like, "No, man, what the fuck?" I was like, "I've told you this in college and shit." I was like, "Yeah, no."
I mean, to me,
Yeah.
when you're, if it's one thing if you have a relationship with God and Christ or anything, but I mean, Catholics, I yell at at the chatterbox. I yell at the audience. I was like, "Come on, guys, we know about the hundreds of years of child rape. Come on, you gotta cut it out."
Yeah, but
okay?
every time you ask a history teacher about it, they're like, "Look, we don't want to talk about that right now." Like, what do you mean by right now?
I know.
When are we going to talk about it, Mr. Jeffries?
yeah. Give me a break with the child rape. Get out of here. But during your thing, you were with your girlfriend when you were still in your addiction.
Yeah.
Did she know the extent of it?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Nah, she had no idea.
Whoa, so...
And I think that was a part of me wanting to quit, was like never wanting her to see the fiend that I could truly be. She
Okay.
wouldn't see me for 2 days. She won't like. I don't ever want to be the person who siphons money out of her bank account like I've done in the past with other people.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like bad, man.
Where did you tell her when you would disappear? What did you tell her when you would disappear for 2 days?
I think there was a pocket of time where I was so like happy having a girl, keeping that I would not gamble as much.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But like and then for a long time I wasn't gambling as much. But then I fell off. Like I got too comfortable and I started gambling for like a month straight. And then I made my rent a couple months. I started being sick in the. I was like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I caught myself. I was like, oh, it will get that bad.
Yes.
It will get that bad. So then I think the acid helped. I think taking the acid was the thing that I was like, when I first started comedy, I wanted to do exactly what I'm doing now.
Yes.
Just move to LA, get a man, all that shit. And it's happening. And I didn't have the courage. So I think I use gambling as a way of like self-sabotage as well on top of it.
That
So
makes
you
sense.
hit rock bottom and drugs actually helped you get out of it. That's cool. That's fucking cool. That's what drugs are for, guys.
I still do drugs, but I don't gamble.
Hell yeah. Yeah, if you don't have a problem, yeah.
Yeah.
Is your wife a Wiccan?
She was.
She stopped being a Wiccan.
She stopped being a
That's-
Wiccan.
If I was a woman,
Yeah.
I would want to be like a hot Wiccan woman. Like
Yeah.
that
I think it's hot.
I think it's hot too.
I honestly think it's very hot.
Isn't it kind of feminine and
It's
kind of
earthy,
mystical
sexy.
and
yeah. I love the idea. I do think that for sure religion, everything started the worship of women.
Yeah.
And then like guys were just so mad that they like just buried the whole thing.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe in all that pagan shit, like Mother Earth and all that stuff, that women bring life, that it was all like, yes, but then guys were finally like, fuck this
I got a
noise.
fetish for it now, though.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like I want my wife to wear like devil horns and shit.
Really?
Yeah, I think it
Let me
fucked
ask
like
you a question.
Catholicism fucked me up. Yeah.
Pentagrams and stuff in between her
Kinda,
titties.
Let me ask you a
a
question.
little bit.
Has
Hell
she
yeah.
ever worn
No.
horns?
I haven't asked her.
Come on. What's
I don't know.
Just horns.
But she could
know.
do a
And
total
I know-
like
you know, I
Stevie
know-
Nicks, like witch, like sex outfit.
Yeah,
And-
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
hold on. I know we're all comedians, but Saul, will you ask your wife to wear devil horns? She would, right?
She would, yeah.
Can you?
I'm gonna. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what kind of horns turns you on? Is it the like cartoon
Floppy, no.
or is it the goat ram horn?
If she can get a demon inside of her body while I'm fucking her,
yeah,
and then
the Lilith, the demon, the woman demon.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, she's like the
That'd be
demon
great.
of sex and stuff.
One time, I have had sex with certain white women sometimes. I joke about it on stage. It's a little hack, but I have found that a lot of white women do like to get like hit and punched and slapped and stuff. I'm sorry. This isn't my wife, by the way. I don't think she really enjoys this stuff that much.
she's a regular lady.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I don't know what she enjoys, to be honest. I'm just trying to make her come all the time, okay? But I
These
have been...
broads like to get hit. They like to get hit in the face.
I
yeah.
am thinking of one woman in particular. This is years ago.
Okay. Do we know her?
No.
Okay.
That I was like, it's too much. Like, she liked to get punched in the stomach.
Ah.
Yeah. And I was like, this is
That's
too
trauma.
much. Yeah. This is too much. But she was like also going like into it.
Yeah.
So that's what you want to do. But also I'm like, this is too much.
Yeah, she got some Beelzebub in there. that wants to just be beaten the fuck up.
She's got some devil in you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would like to get slapped in the face. I haven't really... That's the extent of it. I get some nipple twisting sometimes. That happens to me sometimes when I'm having sex with women, and that bothers me.
Yeah.
That really bothers me. I'm not a big pain guy. Do you like pain at all?
Not at all. No.
Yeah.
Now, I would be into inflicting it.
Yeah.
Like spanking or hitting someone really, really hard, but
Yeah.
I haven't found the person who enjoys that.
I mean, you've got to be nothing kinky, right?
Nah, I'm the barometer of like old me would be like, I know I'm not gay because I don't like stuff in my ass. I was like, that's not a good barometer.
No.
I just
No.
don't like stuff
Yeah.
around my ass.
Well, you haven't had anything in your ass yet.
my wife tried.
Okay.
Yeah, she tried, but nah, no, thank you.
I just don't buy it. I don't think these guys. I don't think these guys are trying hard enough. They're not trying hard enough.
I tried it twice.
I know,
I didn't
it's
do it
just
once
not.
ago. Nah, I
Was
respectfully tried it
was
again.
she trying to put a strap on?
No, I don't like
or-
that.
Yeah.
You know what I found?
Finger.
A finger?
Mouth.
You know what
I
I
don't
found
like
though?
Yeah.
It is, if you really want to, guys, listen to me. Having butt plugs, you'll never come harder in your life. That's a real thing. You come so fucking hard when you use butt plugs.
Yeah.
But I do think that you have to start off small and masturbate.
I don't need to
with
come that hard. I'm talking about like a medium-sized cum.
it. You don't know.
A venti
You don't know
cum.
fucking shit about what you don't know. That's what bums me out. These cowardly men.
The
These
process-
cowardly
I want to
men.
hear you preach. Is
Yeah, I'm
all.
just saying these cowardly men.
Yeah.
When you have the ability to come, you don't even know how hard you could come. That's what I'm saying. Women come so hard because their clitoris, they have access to their clitoris. Our clitoris is in our butthole. But yeah, guys should masturbate. Start off with a small one, and then build their way up. And then obviously, I like to get fucked in the ass, but that's because of this. But I'm just saying, you don't know shit about that stuff.
You're sounding like my dad when I said I don't like nopales.
What is a nopale?
It's a cactus.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say
He's
that
like, you're not
yeah.
Mexican, dog, unless you like that. He's like, you're not a man unless you get shit in your ass.
I just think that guys,
I just don't like it.
I don't like it either. My mom would leave a Tupperware of nopales in
Oh,
the
he's
fridge.
not going back to Nepal.
And my
they're
mom would
so
leave a
s-
tub of stuff in my ass
and-
in
yeah.
the fridge. And I was like, no thanks.
And it was all slimy and shit.
I don't like it.
At least your guys' mom had some leftovers. My mom was a terrible cook. I'm telling you, my mom is the worst cook. Whenever that's another one of these, like Coco, you got like this grandma, you whatever. I had two mean grandmas. I don't relate to that movie at all. They were both mean. And whenever people talk about my mom's cooking, my mom, terrible cook.
Well, what was some of her worst dishes, Steve?
Well, I'll tell you. You know those and I know you'll know this at least, Saul. You know those frozen like banquet family meals? Yeah. Does that sound? My mom, this would be a regular dinner for us. And she'd get like a loaf of bread, and she would make there's these circular turkey slices in gravy.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and she would just be like, yeah, we're going to have sandwiches. And that would be like a dinner.
Holy shit.
Frozen lima beans
That's
a lot.
bachelor dad meals.
I mean,
right there.
Yeah.
as bad as it comes, she would make a meatloaf, the worst meatloaf I've ever had in my life. Have you ever had good meatloaf?
Yeah.
Good meatloaf's really good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
My ex's dad made this beautiful meatloaf with the ketchup baked into it in a way that was like, delicious. My mom would use this canned mixed vegetables, just dump it in ground beef, and just put it in the loaf and just shove it in and pull it out. And
No seasoning, no nothing?
No. Bad cooking. And in retrospect, sure, she was abused by my dad. But some of the best most Mexican moms are abused by their family. Most Mexican moms are abused by their family, and they're still putting up top-notch
So now we
meals.
know she's getting bitch slapped, so that's why she's just like throwing canned meat into pots.
Terrible cook.
That's
Terrible
awful.
cook. Yeah.
Maybe it was out of spite. Fuck her.
No,
Fuck
I
that,
just think
yeah.
my mom had a kid when she was 15.
I got
So
you.
yeah, she's
Oh,
So did mine,
that
and
sucks.
mine makes good food. Good food. Yeah.
Your mom cooked well?
Yeah, my mom cooked amazing cook.
Yeah.
My grandmother had a bakery growing up though.
Oh,
so
my
she had a Mexican
God.
bakery growing up. She hit the ground running as soon as she came here illegally.
Damn. So she had like a pan dulce place with the tray
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah,
and
it was
that's so
cool. Like, and it's kind of funny that I got into comedy because like her logo was Mexican comedian Cantinflas. He was cooking a vat of pork skins, and that's the logo. I could show you
That's
that.
great.
Yeah, that's the logo of her bakery.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was. So like my grandmother could cook, so they taught that to my mom, and then before I became a comedian, I actually went to culinary school.
Really?
Yeah. So
Do you cook now?
Yeah, I cook now. Yeah.
Oh man, that's great.
Were you ever working on the line ever?
Yeah.
Like,
I was a kitchen manager
This
at
guy
an
fucking
Italian
looks
restaurant.
like a sketch drawing of a line cook.
Yeah. They need to get you in the Bear. Someone who's actually funny in the Bear.
or someone, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good show. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's a
that's
not
great
a comedy.
It's
Not
a great show.
Yeah.
The only comedy is Matty Matheson.
Yeah.
And he's great in it. And I'm like, oh, I can't believe the only who's funny is the chef and not the comedian in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now your comedy is like set up in such a way you can do. I mean, we were talking off air about this, but there isn't really alternative comedy that much anymore. But you did get picked up by Comedy Central to do those clips. I don't think a lot of store comics are getting that access. What do you think is different about yours that you are able to do both kinds of rooms? Even though, like I said, I don't think they exist that much, but you've got to believe that your comedy is a little different in some way, right?
I think I try to bring a more centerized nuance to things. Like I don't want to be too edgelordy and also not be too, the more human because we're all not perfect. So I try to come about it from that aspect.
Yeah, you're not edgelordy at all.
Nah, no, but I'm in the universe of edgelords.
That still does tip that way. So yeah, I guess when you're, I don't know, it's hard to talk about this.
It's
stuff.
not the store. The store's not like that anymore. Though.
It's not
There's
like
some
that anymore.
Amazing comedians coming out.
But I will say, like in the like main room, which if you guys don't know about the Comedy Store, there's 3 rooms. There's the OR room, which is where the past comics typically go, except for famous people drop in sometimes. There's the belly room that is just for smaller. It was originally created for women, which is where they belong, up there.
Oh, but it's the best room.
You like the belly room the best?
Yes, it's my favorite
You like
room.
the belly room the best?
My favorite room's the main room. I want it
main
from the
room?
special in the main room.
I mean, the main room is like every time that room packed is electric.
Yeah.
There's almost like nothing like
There's
it.
an echo that you hear, like if you're killing in the main room, nothing will make you feel better than that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you did your thing in the belly room. And then the main room is huge. How many does it seat?
330, 340.
God, fucking damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. But a lot of times they kind of rent that to outside producers, right?
Yeah. Everybody gets their shot.
That's the only time I ever did stand up is I did a gay benefit, an outside produced show there way too early in comedy, an all gay, rich gay lesbian crowd. I went up, it's all LGBTQ comics, and I in that room packed, bombed. So I have like a negative association with the room because I did it too early on an outside produced show.
Yeah, and that's what sucks. So did you have to bring?
Did I? No, I
Was it
didn't
a
have to
bringer
bring.
show?
No,
Was
it
it
was a
nothing?
benefit.
Wow.
I got booked by Frontiers Magazine, who was throwing the benefit. So they just put together this mishmash, and then I had to stay and do photo ops and go out to dinner with It was like, when you bombing, you're like, I want to get the fuck out of here. I want to go home and not be seen. Yeah.
I don't hate any of the I had one independent show at the Comedy Store. I'll say it out loud. It's D's Nuts. Fuck that show forever. It attracts some of the worst comedians, because it's actors trying to be comedians, so they pay for acting classes, and their final is D's Nuts Comedy Showcase.
Does it like sell out?
It sells out with nothing but actors.
Yeah.
And there's some of the worst audience members ever because they don't tip. They're all broke. The servers hate them.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, they're doing that a lot. And I'm like, I hate all of you.
Actors doing stand up come off presentational. You know what I mean?
It's
like
not-
it's like
yeah.
rehearsed. It's very like, oh, you're doing a monologue in a theater thing. It's like not real. There's something about it that's off.
But that also shows them as a bad actor. They're overacting on stage. They'll overact on set. And you ever find out when one of your friends is a bad actor, like a good stand-up comedian, and then like you'll do a sketch with them, they're overacting. You're like, no, don't do that again. Just say the line.
The worst bomb of my life happened in the main room. Also, it was before the roast was a thing. I had never roasted before. It was ramping up to be the biggest thing, and Connor McSpadden asked me to. Did you go to this?
Yes, and also have you ever heard this story? It's a legendary fail story at the store.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad. This is right when I started dating Juliet, maybe a month into it too. So, almost a decade ago. And
this is at the beginning of like roast battle becoming a big thing,
okay.
and so he didn't know really what it was yet.
I didn't know how to roast, or I just didn't know. And Connor McSpadden, even back then, had been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
He loves to do it.
Yeah, he's good.
If you guys don't know Connor, he's a great comic, but he gets hired now by Comedy Central to write roast. It's like what he does. Anyways, Connor asked me to roast, and I go, okay, cool. And this is when the LA scenes were very defined as alternative East Side and comedy club stuff. And so Connor was like a up-and-coming club guy, and I was an up-and-coming alt guy. So it was almost like a meeting. The place could not be more packed. Tons of comics, everybody there. This is going to be what a fight.
Celebrity judges.
Yeah. Sebastian was one of the judges.
Jeff Ross was, of course,
Ross was there. Sebastian was there. And jam-packed. We were the headlining thing. 3 rounds. I've never roasted before in my life. I wrote such long.
And it was like the belly room was just, it was uncomfortable.
It wasn't the belly room. It was the main room.
Wait, it wasn't.
It was jam-packed main room.
Oh.
And so
I must be remembering it differently because they moved it to the belly room after that.
Connor, no, they just brought it for this one time. They brought it to the main room. I'm sure they did it after.
Well, this was early on. Okay, go on. Yeah.
So Connor, there's a lot to make fun of me if you don't know me. This is one of the reasons why I don't like roasting, by the way, is the jokes feel a lot of times, lowest common denominator because you're just railing off these things that, in my opinion, aren't true a lot of times.
Okay, but go on with what happened.
No, it's just important to know. So my comedy is also very personal. So I'm talking about being polyamorous. I talk about being fat. I talk about doing gay shit. But this audience doesn't know that. But Connor has all this. At that point, he was like a 22-year-old or 21-year-old, just white guy who got molested. That's all I had.
Connor had hard jokes.
What do you mean?
He had just hard-ass roast jokes.
Yeah, but he had jokes about all these information that I give him.
Yeah.
All I had is he was molested. So I have this one stupid thing, and I did not know how to write roast jokes.
Oh, my God.
So he was leading up, jam-packed.
Yeah.
And first round, right when it starts and I'm out there, I go, oh, my God. I go, this isn't stand-up. Like, this is nothing like stand-up.
He's going on and on and on, and no one knows what to do or how to react.
And then Connor says something.
Yeah.
And then, he gets a laugh. And then I do these long, 4 or 5 sentences.
Yeah.
With yeah. And the audience is just like, woof. First round, Connor obviously wins. They do a second round. And then at the end of the second round, it goes awful too. And I'm telling you, I'm dying in front of 2/3 of the LA comedy scene. And Sebastian looks at Connor and he goes, oh, yeah. Connor, why did you pick this guy?
Whoa.
You're a good roaster, and this feels very unfair. Why did you even pick this guy?
Yeah, Sebastian's now treating Steve as if he's a homeless man off the street who is not right in his mind, and he's saying, Connor, I'm mad at you because you're picking on this guy. Obviously, this is obviously not a real comic. That's the implication.
Yeah.
He was, and it's in front of everyone.
Why would you do that?
Yeah. But it was really he was trying to be a good person.
Yeah.
Not even funny.
Wow.
Sebastian rubbing his head like this, Connor, like, it's not right that you did this.
Oh, yeah.
Truly.
Leave him alone.
Yeah. Leave this guy alone. Why did you even do this?
No.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, that's real, too. Like, I had never roasted at all. Like, it should not have happened. I wasn't smart enough to know that. And even now, since with the roast happening, I don't like to do that it's not my thing. Like, it's not why I do stand-up. I'm not good at it. It bothers me.
I like the art of writing jokes, and I feel like I'm like, what am I, 3 and 4 on roast battle?
Yeah.
But like 2 of those losses, I wrote the joke that beat me.
Yeah.
I would get together.
Really?
Yeah, I'd get together with the other comic.
Oh, fuck, okay.
I think one of the joke was like, I look like I go to 7-Eleven, I pick hot dogs like lobsters. And then they got one in the back.
Great
One's
joke.
lively.
One.
Yeah, so
Great
that's the
joke.
one that beat me.
And you're the one who penned
I
it.
went and wrote it.
But as long the thing about roast battle, as long as you're a good roaster and it's a good show,
Yeah.
then they respect
That's
you.
all. And as soon as you realize that as a roaster, it's just a show. It's like WWE. It's just entertainment.
Yeah.
You're just this. They're like, oh, this is fine.
Well, I know that now, but at the time, I did not know that. And being humiliated in front of people like that, 300 people, including Maniscalco going like this, and a girl, I just started dating Julia for a month, and they just kind of ended it. And I remember like walking back, my brother Danny had gone with his girlfriend, and people were avoiding my eyes, my friends. Avoiding my eyes. I went backstage because I just couldn't be out there anymore. It was so sad that I went like backstage, and Andy Haynes, comedian Andy Haynes, who's married to Rosebud Baker now. He's in New York, but he was very sweet at the time. I still do you know who Andy Haynes is? Dude, he's so funny. He has a half hour. He's been on Conan a couple times, but I really respect him. And he like just went and sat down with me. He just sat down next to me and just like went like this, and like we just sat there for like 10 minutes, and then to this day I'm telling you, it's probably the most humiliating experience of my life. And Julia and I driving home, like Julia, we went home and I was like, just don't talk to me right now. And then we went home and she tried to have sex with me, and I was like, don't even think about it. Like I pushed her off me. I was
How
like, don't
sweet
even
of
think
her, though.
Wow. She was like, you want a little pussy?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the nicest thing
That's
ever.
so
Of
nice.
course it was, but yeah.
Take that negative cum energy out.
No, there's no way. I'm like, I can't get hard. You know what I mean? I can't get hard right
Yeah.
now. But it's like one of the worst experiences of my life.
But you lived. You survived it. We all need like super bad, humiliating experiences.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
I mean that I didn't learn a lesson or anything though.
Well, you did. You never roasted again, and I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
To this day, you've never roasted?
No. And like I said, I don't like it. It bothers me. And Jonathan, we used to fight about this all the time because he likes roasting. He's good at it, and he's just like, oh, you just didn't give it a real shot because of your.
I still think that. Yeah, I think you could do it now.
No, I know I could do it. I don't like to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's low hanging fruit generally. I know there are good roasters, and even the joke Saul said is like, that's a great joke, no doubt. But I'm also like, it feels stupid to me.
Yeah, but at the open mic level, roasters at the open mic, look, you fatty, fat, fuck,
Yeah.
fat. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, that's
Yeah.
good,
All
very
right,
well written.
I just,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Conor McSpad's talking about me being polyamorous. I'm like, this is all for these chuds. That's what I mean. You know what to say to make the fucking chuds laugh. I don't want to make a chud laugh. I can write a better joke.
I will say
Yeah.
because I did do the roast battle for 2 years.
Yeah.
I did 18 roasts, and
Yeah.
I will say that audience got more and more smart. Where
Yes.
there were people who would do a bad like faggot joke. Where
Yeah.
basically the punchline was they just called me faggot, and no one in the belly room
Yeah.
laughed. And I love that because they were like, yeah, well, any one of us could have done that. Where was the joke in that? And I was like, fuck yeah, now you got to make a nice, intricate, good joke. Like I think Brian Vokey had a great joke against me. I'm not gonna do it the exact
Justice.
wording,
You're not gonna
yeah,
do the justice.
but he said something about like, Jonathan, you're so pretentious. You look like you eat ass with your pinkies up or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was great.
Yeah.
I'm like,
great.
that's a good ass joke.
Because you're gay, but you just so happen to be gay. Your pinkies are just up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it could be more like, I know
It's
Ramsey
great.
had a pulse joke about me burning alive. I don't remember the wording, but it was very funny.
Yeah.
The way he
It was just about gays burning alive like they did at Pulse.
Yeah, it
Or
was about
getting
him throwing a
shot.
bomb into
Yeah.
Pulse or something like that. It was
Anything that where gays get murdered is hilarious as far as I'm concerned.
You know what it depends on how they get murdered. Murdered at a roller rink, inherently funny, right? But yeah, so I still stand by it. I think it's a good thing to do. It's a good joke writing skill.
Yeah, you're right. Then there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with writing jokes. That's always a good skill.
Yeah, for comedy, it is kind of a good skill.
Saul, thank you so much for coming
Thanks
on.
for having me.
Please let them know, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Saul Comedy, on TikTok, Saul Comedy, saulcomedy.com. Also have Dogs of Browntown. That's to me anywhere you find podcasts.
And Jonathan, where can we find you?
Jonathan Sertorell on Instagram.
You can find me at Big Hearn on Twitter, Hearny on Instagram. Please follow us everywhere. Horn Dawgs Podcast on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Tell your friends, share it, give us 5 stars. Write into us at Horn Dawgs Comedy Podcast at gmail.com, and we will read your letter. By the time you're hearing this, I will have a daughter, and who knows how ugly she's going to be. We'll see you next time.